Crypto market is rebounding today, and XRP, not surprised to see it, I gotta tell you, XRP is the number one performing coin in the top 10 coins by market cap yet again. Color me surprised. I'm not surprised. You'll love to see this. Take a look at this. XRP is $2.24 at the time I'm recording this. By the way, it is, in case you're curious, I'll note, 3:17 p.m. Central Time, Monday, November 24th, 2025. So yeah, XRP $2.24, up about 9% at the time I'm recording, but it was actually up even higher just a short bit ago. XRP as high as $2.28. You've got Bitcoin at just over $89,000, which is a key level, some analysts say, in terms of resistance, and that's hanging out right around its 24-hour all-time high. So we'll see there. Sentiment certainly noticed this. Just a little over an hour ago, they posted this. They wrote, Bitcoin has climbed back to a high of $88,800 today, but the story has been altcoins like XRP plus 7%. And of course, it's higher than that now. And then they also noted, as they look to continue their rebound after last week's FUD led to so many traders to bow out of the market. And I'm willing to bet that the people that panic sold at the bottom are kind of feel a little bit of regret right now. Some regrets, as the memes say, some regrets out there. Of course, it is possible the market could go a little bit lower. Not only am I not a chart analyst, I am not interested, as a result of that, actually, I am not interested in making short-term calls directionally, but my conviction remains stronger than ever, frankly. I firmly believe we are not in a bear market. I do believe that you're going to see another massive pop for Bitcoin because I'm just in a number of reasons, not the least of which I'm counting on history to rhyme with itself. I'm counting on a global liquidity to lead the way like it always has. And then I think XRP follows. I think you're going to have a proper alt season, XRP entering price discovery. None of that is off the table. Now, since I don't know what's going to happen in the short term, and I'm more of a macro guy, and I just hold for the long term. I'm a long-term guy. I'll just say this. It's possible that you could see continued moves to the downside, but as you'll see as we go through this video, because look, I'm going to share with you perspective from 12 different XRP chart analysts. There's acknowledgement from some. We could go lower, and that would not invalidate anything. It would just make the pop that much stronger when it finally happens, if this one isn't it. Here's this post from Swissblock. There's a post, Swissblock shared a repost from Ted Pillows. He's a popular chart analyst, 245,000 followers. I've seen him pop up in my feed from now to then. I'm not that informed of what his general takes are, but he's popular, 245,000 followers. I don't really know that much about him. But he shared a post here 12 hours ago. And he said, Bitcoin got rejected from its resistance level. If Bitcoin doesn't reclaim the $88,000 to $90,000 level soon, it could drop towards a new monthly low. And he does think that's what's probable. I went to his profile, found separate posts indicating that he thinks, this is basically just going to be it's going to be a bull trap is what he thinks. Now, Swissblock, on-chain analytics firm, they reposted that and said, historically speaking, we would expect another lower momentum drop to take out the $80,000 to $82,000 liquidity clusters. This will be the strongest setup for a larger move. So on-chain analytics from Swissblock thinks we're actually not done yet, despite seeing this rally. So in which case, if that's true, this is just a relief rally. But I just wanted to let you know, in case that happens, not to be a Debbie Downer on a green day. I'm not. I'm very excited to see this, just like the rest of you. Just to warn you, in case that happens, you actually don't have to freak out. That's a thing you could choose to do, is to not lose your ever-loving mind and just carry on like an adult and understand that you're in the most volatile asset class in the entire planet. This is par for the course. And just because numbers go down sometimes, it doesn't mean there's actually something wrong. It doesn't mean that there's something fundamentally broken. It doesn't mean it's all going to zero. Utility exists or it doesn't. And my investment thesis at its core is that utility matters and will win the day. Chart analyst Zoom says, be careful of the bull trap. So he thinks that this is nothing more than a bull trap and we're going to be seeing move to the downside. And he has publicly noted that he has exited the crypto market, at least for now. He's taken his profit, which is perfectly fine. If people want to do that, they're making calculated risks. There's nothing wrong with that. I only question people and kind of, have, let's just say, strong critiques if people are making important financial decisions based on emotion. That's where it's a problem. Whether you're buying or selling, if you're making an important investment decision based on your feels, that's a bad idea. Chart analyst Zoom here, he has his convictions, and whether he's right or wrong, that's much more reasonable. But he happens to be one of 3 chart analysts that I follow who flip from being bulls on XRP to bears. There's only 3 that I follow that I'm aware of off the top of my head. The other dozens and dozens and dozens of XRP chart analysts who I selectively follow have not flipped bearish. In fact, they could not be more optimistic for the future, including Credible Crypto. He's one of the best in the business. Well-deserved 484,000 followers on X here. This is an XRP USD chart. And he's warning, it's possible we could go down, but he's still calling for all-time highs. Check this out. And by the way, he posted this morning at 11:42 a.m. So this is the latest from him. We got pretty close. Oh, wait, he's asked a question. I should set this up properly. Somebody tagged Credible Crypto in X and wrote, Credible Crypto, did XRP finally complete that last tap near enough to $1.76 to Moon 3 days ago? And Credible Crypto said, we got pretty close. Haven't quite hit it just yet. Remember, as per my last YouTube video, all we are doing is seeing chop within a large range after a 5x impulse move to the upside. A test of $1.77, or even a sweep of the lows at $1.60 and into the green demand zone we tapped earlier. You have to look at the screen to see what he's talking about. He says would not be out of the question and would not change anything either. So he's warning, we actually could drop to even about $1.60 in his estimation. But he's not a bear. He says, whenever this consolidation / correction completes, we'll be expecting a fresh impulse to new all-time high, one that is even stronger than the last. And that would historically make sense. XRP has always had one major surge, consolidation, and then a surge to the upside. So if we are indeed seeing an elongated cycle for liquidity reasons, then they would make sense. It's just delayed, not canceled. So he absolutely is still expecting that to be the case. And on a higher time frame, he says Bitcoin is still looking pretty as long as we don't drop below $74,000. Anything above that, fair game, doesn't ruin anything in the charts. And that's important because as long as that doesn't happen, ultimately it's going to resume to the upside, and then alts follow. The asset class moves in tandem. Here's a post from chart analyst Ali Martinez. He says, 1.8 billion XRP were previously acquired around $1.75, making it a key support area. So I just found that interesting, given what Credible Crypto is talking about, the potential to move to the downside. And he's saying, even if that happens, it's going to be pretty strong support. And one of the levels Credible Crypto cited was $1.77. Pretty damn samey if you ask me. Here's a post from chart analyst CW. XRP's rocket is taking off. It will surpass its all-time high and head towards the peak of phase 4. And he posted that just this afternoon, just over 3 hours ago, 12:09 p.m. Central Time. And what is phase 4? If you look at the top here, you can see that would be a price per XRP of $21.50. So all of this turbulence we've been seeing and all of the capitulation, because we've been trending down now for most of the last 6 weeks, ever since the October 10th liquidation event. Despite that, he's saying, nope, doesn't change anything that he sees in the charts. It is absolutely still coming. It's kind of funny. You can look at the chart. This must be it right here. This wick, right? That's got to be it, right? Oh, it's just hilarious. If that's it, I assume, unless I'm forgetting, I don't think there's another wick that would have showed up on the chart, but it's just hilarious. Because it was a flash wick. It was there for like a split second, and then right back up. It was so meaningless. It's just funny to even see it in a zoomed out chart, though. Anyway, here's a post from X-Force Global, XRP. Get ready for $4 plus. And he posted this late morning, 11:51 a.m. Central Time. So he says, get ready for $4 plus. I'm very confident we will see a bullish continuation this cycle. Many Elliotticians are probably struggling with this chart. Removing every market inefficiency through the line chart, I'm delivering a true Elliott wave view that no one is seeing. And he's been insistent for a long time. He thinks XRP goes much, much higher from here. He has not wavered despite this move to the downside. And this type of volatility, it is indeed historically normal. These drops happen all the time, and so few of them have led to bear markets. You might as well round down to zero, because there's only been several bear markets or so ever since the inception of crypto. How many times have we seen drawdowns that are over 30% though? Like a ridiculous number of times. And every time it's the end of the world, every time we're entering a bear market, except we're actually not, You little baby back bitches. I'm just saying. Not you guys listen. You cool. Here's a post from chart analyst Tough Waves. XRP, of course, right there on your screen. He says, in our last XRP post, we discussed the potential for another push lower to form a truncated low. Since then, price has printed a new low on the line chart relative to the wick from the liquidity sweep, but the structure getting there is a bit funky. At first glance, it looks like a clean three-wave move. However, there is a valid expanding diagonal count in play. Now we're seeing a solid impulse developing off that low. The key focus is whether this continues and sets up that high probability C3 trade we've been waiting for. For now, I still favor this support holding. So he's an XRP bull as well. And you can see what he's charting here is XRP getting up in the short term to about $7.50. So he has not flipped at all. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Wizard. This is an XRP BTC chart. Reclaim possible? The last time XRP broke out of a downtrend against Bitcoin, it reclaimed the 200 EMA and exploded upside by 50.58%. The same setup is emerging. Can it reclaim and rally above? It all depends on Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, and so if Bitcoin tanks to the downside, that's going to destroy whatever rally you're seeing with XRP. It almost always happens. If Bitcoin tanks, yeah, the whole market's going to go with it. But you know, and then Bitcoin dominance. You do want to see Bitcoin dominance tank because that means altcoins are taking off, obviously. But you don't want to see Bitcoin price go down. So, and both can happen. Those are not mutually exclusive ideas. I mean, historically, Bitcoin price does rise. It enters the the final parabolic rally for a cycle as Bitcoin dominance tanks. That's a key indicator. We are waiting to see that. It has not happened, but so many chart analysts, as I've been consistently highlighting on my channel, are noting that Bitcoin dominance looks like complete crap. So they believe it's going to break to the downside, and that would be within historical norms. There's so many things set up. There's so much confluence. It just doesn't make logical sense to be a bear here as far as I'm concerned. And also worth mentioning, since we're talking about XRP BTC, we have not had an all-time high on the XRP BTC chart since the first half of 2017. Now, as I say with a certain amount of regularity, markets find bottoms. I don't predict where the bottoms are. That's not my shtick. I don't make price predictions. I don't predict stuff like that. I have suspicions on a macro scale about where we might be going. That's about as far as I'll wade out into the water. But since markets do find bottoms, I'll just tell you, I feel comfortable predicting this with no time limit attached to it. At some unknown point in the future, there will be a new all-time high on the XRP BTC chart. Mark my words on that one. I don't know when. I don't know if it'll be today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, 5 years from now. I'm not making a time prediction, but it would be ridiculous if that never happened. The only reason it's been this long is because the SEC artificially suppressed the price of XRP. So it's nice that we've seen a new all-time high on the XRP USD chart, but even that son of a bitch, it took like, how many years? Like seven years roughly? Yeah, it took just over 7 years for XRP to hit a new all-time high. From January 2018 to January of 2025. So that finally happened. You had to wait a really long time, didn't you? Well, I'm telling you, we're still waiting on the XRP BTC chart. It's just a matter of time. And that'll happen in a proper environment where, I suspect Bitcoin will be going for its final parabolic run. I think you're going to see a proper alt season. Those things will all be happening at the same time, I would certainly suspect, because historically that's the norm. But to think that's never going to happen, I think is silly nonsense. So think about this. XRP's already climbed this high. It's nowhere near its all-time high against Bitcoin, but it's this high against the dollar. Talk about a freaking strong base. Jesus, that's fantastic. Here's a post from chart analyst Chart Nerd, and he says, XRP has been consolidating for nearly 365 days above $1.90. Bullish factors above $1.90. Number one, 20-month EMA support. Number two, price sitting above prior all-time high candle closes and 2021 neckline highs. 3, bullish super trend line support. 4, price action has come home to its middle regression band of the Gaussian channel. Check. And so from a chart perspective, he's saying this isn't pretty. And this is what I keep seeing from almost every chart analyst that I follow who charts XRP. Here's a post from chart analyst Tara. XRP is trying to break out, and this is from 12:11 p.m. just this afternoon, a few hours ago. It reached the 0.5 retrace, and the RSI is strong. Breaking past this level now means that $2.30 is next. Now, again, that was just a few hours ago. We've gotten pretty damn close as of the time I'm recording this, so I don't know what the hell the price is by the time you're watching. Maybe it's way higher or about the same. For all I know, maybe it has cratered down, in which case my whatever optimistic video title, which is in line with reality as I record this, that I end up choosing to slap down on this video, may look a little silly if we crash down, but that's always the risk. Look, if you don't like the price of crypto, just like wait 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds tops. It's probably going to change. I'm just saying. So I'm still optimistic though. But anyway, she says, the critical 382 support, so $2.30. This is the level that XRP really needs to reclaim in order to help confirm the bottom is in. We still don't have confirmation of a new trend just yet, although it is starting to get really impulsive and show signs of strength. Definitely what we like to see at the start of macro wave 3. We need to pay very close attention to Bitcoin in this moment, which just reached its resistance at $88,300 and hasn't been able to break above yet. Waiting for the break or retrace, which will give us insights into XRP's next movement. We are so close. Yeah, so that's another acknowledgement from another analyst that the way Bitcoin goes is the way XRP goes, directionally anyway. Now, in terms of scale, if you let enough time pass, XRP is going to absolutely obliterate Bitcoin in terms of performance. There is so little money in XRP compared to Bitcoin, which is a great thing. That's a positive because it takes not that much money flowing in to get it to double, triple, quadruple in price, so on and so forth. Here's a post from Crypto Michael. He says, I called XRP before it pumped 800%. Many are once again losing faith in XRP. That's the purpose of this correction. It's a transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. Spot on there. XRP is ready to surprise everyone once again. That's all I'm going to say. And that's true of investing in general, but it matters a lot when you're talking about an asset like XRP, which has been artificially suppressed for years, yet is one of the most useful cryptocurrencies ever created, one of the most adopted, and one of the most technologically advanced when it comes to payments, if not the most technologically advanced. It just works. It just freaking works. It settles in real time. Blazing fast transactions. Transactions so cheap they might as well be free. Of course people value that. That's why XRP is one of only 3 coins in existence that has always been in the top 10 coins by market cap its entire life. And those 3 coins, of course, would be Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP. Those are the only 3 that have always been in the top 10. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that we've picked the winner here. Here's a post from Crypto Insight UK. He's feeling optimistic, obviously. He said, XRP to lead again here. You know, at a minimum, cautiously optimistic, I'd say. 3-day looking good, and that's the XRP USD chart. He also shared this XRP ETH chart. He shared an XRP BTC chart, and he shared an XRP dominance chart. and that was just this morning. He thinks we're sitting pretty. And this is the general sentiment I keep seeing from chart analysts over and over and over again. And I do seek to find negative perspective from XRP chart analysts because I want to balance out this channel as much as possible. It's just really hard to find that stuff. I'm not selectively choosing all the bull stuff, ignoring the bear stuff. I'm happy to share the bear stuff. I want to have a balanced perspective. I know you do too. If there's bad news, even though we don't want there to be bad news, like you're like me, I'm sure you'd rather hear the bad news and know what reality is rather than have your head in the sand, right? But what I'm telling you is it's very difficult to find any negative XRP chart expectations. It's very hard to find because people don't think it's not going to do well, broadly speaking. That's why. All right, here's a post from eGreg Crypto, and for the purposes of the time, I'm not going to read the whole post, but of course, if you want to pause here and read through the whole thing and his rationale, it is on your screen, but I did want to cover the bottom part here, and this is from just over 12 hours ago before we saw most of the pump from today, but he wrote, most probable scenario. Based on the structure alone, this looks more like late cycle consolidation before a final upside leg, not the start of a macro bear. The chart leans toward one last push, not a completed top. And folks, that is what I keep seeing from chart analysts. The best is yet ahead. And so there you go, perspective from a dozen XRP chart analysts. You'll love to see it. It's good stuff here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea.